Have you heard of SpaceX? Do you know who Elon Musk is? Well, if you've answered yes, then you're going to like what we're talking about in this video. We've got everything you need to know about SpaceX, and that includes the cost of a flight before and after SpaceX became available. So, if space exploration is on your radar, then sit back and let's get ready to talk about it. First, the cost of a space flight before and after SpaceX. Well, I personally think this is just going to be expensive no matter what, because going up into space can't be cheap. However, let's look into it and see what we can find. So, on December 21st, 2021, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launched a cargo capsule into space. What was its mission? It needed to deliver supplies and Christmas gifts to astronauts that were in the International Space Station. Just after 8 minutes from the liftoff, the rocket's first stage returned to Earth, landing on a SpaceX drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. I'm sorry, but 8 minutes? My goodness, that was seriously rocketing up there. This ended up being the company's 100th successful landing. Similar to Jeff Bezos' company, Blue Origin, and Ball Aerospace, SpaceX has been designing and building innovative spacecraft that are trying to speed up space delivery by making it more routine and affordable. I mean, how often are we going to be doing this? Can't we focus on learning more about the ocean? No? Okay. Well, we need to think also about how much it costs to launch a cargo rocket into space and how has this cost changed over the years. What do you think? Do you think it was more expensive in the past compared to now? Next, the space race. Well, we need to start from the beginning. The 20th century was marked by competition between two Cold War enemies, the Soviet Union and the US. What were they trying to achieve? They wanted to see who could win the space race. This race ended up giving us some amazing technological advances, but these innovations came at a high price. Shocker, right? I think not. For instance, during the 1960s, NASA ended up spending $28 billion to land astronauts on the moon, a cost today equating to about $288 billion. Excuse me? You've spent how much, NASA? Care to explain yourselves? Do you know what we could do with that kind of money? Do you think that money was well spent? Anyways, in the last 2 decades, the space startup companies ended up demonstrating that they can compete against heavyweight aerospace contractors like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Today, a SpaceX rocket launching can be 97% cheaper than a Russian Soyuz ride cost in the 60s. Are you serious? I would not have guessed that at all. Would you have thought that? I know I didn't. I'm actually shocked. The reason for this cost efficiency, however, is because SpaceX rocket boosters actually return to Earth in a good enough condition that they can usually be fixed up, which ends up saving a lot of money. Wow, reduce, reuse, recycle to a whole new level. I mean, I can see why this saves a lot of money for SpaceX and how this is actually cheaper, but I also wonder if the materials have changed since back in the 60s. It must have, right? If you know if they did, then write it down below. Let's take a look at space tourism. Yes, cargo flights have brought the price down, but there is no surprise that human space transportation is still pricey. I mean, if you're going to space, so obviously it's going to cost quite a bit of money. During the last 60 years, roughly 600 people have flown into space, and the vast majority of them have been government astronauts. Obviously, it has not been regular people like you and me. However, they're always teasing that one day it could be normal people, but I think that'll be in a few decades, you know. Anyways, for a suborbital trip on Virgin Galactic Space Shop 2 and Blue Origin's New Shepard, seats are around, wait for it, $250,000 to $500,000. Flights beyond that to actual orbit are a lot more expensive than that. You're looking at about $50 million per seat. What I'm getting from this is that only the extremely wealthy people are going to be traveling around space while we are down here with our cars. I mean, I'm not mad because I think I'd get travel sickness going all the way up. I wonder how it feels though to be in that spaceship. Does it throw you into the back of your chair? Maybe. What do you picture it to be like? Also, keep listening because we've got even more news about SpaceX and everything travel. Now we have the future of space flight. So what do we think about the future of space flight? Well, in a SpaceX press briefing, the director, Benji Reed, said, "We want to make life multiplanetary, and that means putting millions of people into space. However, I don't know what millions of people they're going to be putting in space when the seats are that expensive. I think the rich and famous will disappear to another planet, and we're probably going to be left on Earth. And I'm not upset by that. I like Earth. It served me well all these years. What do you think about us taking over multiple planets? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's possible?" Next, let's take a look into SpaceX Starlink Internet. All right, we all know that there are many people who use the internet. Like you're using it to watch this video. So, there are a lot of internet providers out there, and some places charge an obscene amount of money for the internet. I mean, have you seen some of these prices? They're ridiculous. However, I think Starlink has beaten all of them. SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet service is growing with a new launch premium tier. Yes, premium, which means more money. Elon Musk tweeted about the news because he's obviously obsessed with Twitter still. He ended up saying that Starlink Premium is a service with a scan array that's twice as big as the standard offering. That sounds pretty cool. So we're looking at something that comes with higher download speeds of 150 to to 500 megabytes per second and latency of 20 to 40 ms, according to Starlink. Also, the company has said that this system is built to withstand extreme weather conditions. However, let's talk money, shall we? The base service is $99 a month. Pretty standard, I think. Many internet companies charge that per month around the world. However, the premium cost is, well, it's $500 a month. Yes, $500. Now, I don't know if this means the satellite is made of the most expensive metals known to mankind, but it is just, I can't even put into words how expensive this is to me. Except if you do want to buy this service, then you can place your order now and expect it to be fulfilled later in 2022. SpaceX has come a really long way because of the global rollout of the Starlink satellites didn't happen until 2020. Apparently, they have shipped out 100,000 units to customers worldwide, which is quite a lot. This service has been branded as a high-speed broadband internet service. Starlink uses a network of interlinked satellites that sit in low Earth orbit, which has been sent aloft by SpaceX rockets. This is all just incredibly fast. I mean, last June, Musk spoke at Mobile World Congress. He said that he aimed to have 500,000 Starlink users within the year. One of his goals is to make internet connectivity easier for those living in rural areas and parts of the world where accessibility by ground is difficult. I mean, that all sounds really nice, and we definitely need to help those people in those areas. However, how are you going to do this with prices like $500? Will he be providing it at a discounted rate? Will he be giving it to them for free? I think there needs to be more information on how he plans on accomplishing this goal, because it's not making a whole lot of sense to me. Also, we're just going to end this off with a bit more about this Starlink premium experience. Apparently, customers are going to be receiving VIP level customer service, better performance when there's an outage, and unlimited data. I mean, for $500, I expect the technician to teleport to my house within 10 minutes if I'm paying that kind of money. Also, SpaceX describes the service as a prime choice for businesses and high-demand users. What businesses and users are these? My guess that major companies will be using this service like Apple, Google, telecommunication companies as well. Places that have money to burn because the deposit is $500 and then you have to buy a $2,500 kit. What does the kit include? You're going to get a satellite antenna, Wi-Fi router, base, and cables. There are no contracts, but users should know that Starlink is only on a first-come, first-served basis. Wow, that all sounds intense. What do you think about the $500 price tag? And who do you think's going to purchase it? Well, that's the end of this video. Were you surprised to find out that SpaceX rockets cost less now than the ones Russia made in the 60s? Also, what do you think about Starlink's premium service? Let us know down below.